Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is weekly current affairs series, and in this video we are going to see the part 1 of this weekly current affairs. In this we are going to see very selected questions. Each question is very much important for your every examinations. So don't skip any question as each question has been precisely selected for your examination. And if you want PDF of all these videos and all the updates of all the latest important videos, then you can join us on Telegram by writing the channel's name Students Point. You can also follow us on Instagram by writing the username The Students Point. Also, if you find this video useful, then don't forget to like the video and do share the video with as many friends of yours as you can. Also, to get the updates of all the latest important videos, don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell icon. Okay, let's move ahead now. But first, here is a question for the day, and everyone has to answer this question in the comment section. It has been long days before we have seen this question, so I would expect everyone to let's check that whether you can recall this question or not. The question is, recently who has been conferred the Social Entrepreneur of the Year award? So these are the options. Read the options carefully and let's see how many of you can answer it in the comment section. Let's begin now. The first question. India Water Impact 2020 is organized by. So it has been organized recently by National Mission for Clean Ganga along with Center for Ganga River Basin Management and Studies. So here both A and B is the right answer. The summit hosted experts and academicians from all across the world to discuss and debate issues related to water conservation, water security and river rejuvenation. During this event, Norwegian Institute of Bioeconomy Research has signed a memorandum of agreement with Sea Ganga, which is a think tank of National Mission for Clean Ganga for development of sludge management framework in India. Next question now. A Himalayan Sero has been sighted for the first time in the Himalayan cold desert region. So this region is located in. So the question basically says that Himalayan Sero, जो कि एक जानवर है, हाल ही में हिमालयन कोल्ड डेजर्ट रीजन के पास पाया गया है. तो ये रीजन हिमालयन कोल्ड डेजर्ट किस स्टेट में या किस यूनियन टेरिटरी में है? So this region lies in Himachal Pradesh. So here C is the right answer. This animal was spotted near Holding village in Spiti in Himachal Pradesh. Wildlife officials believe that this particular animal may have strayed into Spiti Valley from Rupi Bhabha Wildlife Sanctuary in adjoining Kinnor. Why so? Because this animal is not found at the height where this cold region is located in Himachal Pradesh. So it is expected that this animal must have came here from Rupi Bhabha Wildlife Sanctuary. This is the animal. It looks like this, and this Himalayan Sero resembles a cross between a goat, a donkey, a cow and a pig. This Himalayan Sero, also called as Capricornis sumatranus thar, is a subspecies of mainland Sero. This is how this appears, as it is a mixture of donkey, cow, goat and a pig. It has a medium-sized body. It is a mammal with a large head, thick neck, short limbs, long and mule-like ears and a coat of dark hair, as you can notice here. And there are several species of these seros, but all of them are found in Asia, and Himalayan seros are typically found at an height of or altitude of 2000 meters to 4000 meters. In feet it is 6500 feet to 13,000 feet, and they are known to be found in eastern, central and western Himalayas, but not in the trans-Himalayan region, and they are herbivorous. I repeat it once again, they are herbivorous and not carnivorous, and previously they were categorized as near threatened by IUCN, but now since they have been more threatened, they have been categorized into vulnerable category by IUCN Red List. And in India, they are listed under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, which means that they are given the highest level of protection in the country. Also, if you are preparing for UPSC or state PCS examinations for 2021, then you can materialize your dream by joining our classes. The fee for this course has been reduced to just rupees 2249, and if you have any financial issues, you can pay it in 2 installments. The link for subscription will be provided below in the comment section as well as in the description box of the video. The link for installment will also be provided in the comment section. The second link will be for this, and the first link will be for those who are going to subscribe at once. Also, all the steps for subscribing have been provided in detail in the description box of the video. After subscribing, you have to send your confirmation here at pointstudent2020@gmail.com. Okay, so let's move ahead now. The third question. Vision 2035 Public Health Surveillance in India has been released by, so it has been released by Niti Aayog. So here B is the right answer. This paper called as Vision 2035 Public Health Surveillance in India aims to make India's public health surveillance system more responsive, predictive, to enhance preparedness for action at all levels. It also aims to make citizen-friendly public health surveillance system and will ensure individual privacy and confidentiality enabled with a client feedback mechanism. It also aims to provide improved data sharing mechanism between center and states for better disease detection, prevention and control. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Geminids meteor showers. What is it? Let's see. They are unique because of their origin. Their origin does not lie in a comet, but what is believed to be an asteroid or an extinct comet. So this is correct. So it is this Geminids meteor showers are different from conventional concept of showers, meteor showers. Why? Because their origin lie from an asteroid and not from a comet. This Geminids emerges from 3200 Phaethon, which meteor scientists consider to be an asteroid. So this is also correct. This 3200 Phaethon is an asteroid from where this Geminid meteor showers originates. So here both of these options are correct, so C is the right answer. NASA recently has said that Geminids travel at a speed of 78,000 miles per hour, that is 35 km per hour, which is almost 1000 times faster than a cheetah. Meteors are best visible on a cloudless night and when the moon is not extremely bright. What are meteors and meteor showers? See, meteors are bits of rocks and ice that are ejected from a comet and they maneuver around the orbit around the sun. When these meteors enter into the Earth's orbit, they are called as meteorites. So, if they ask you what is meteorite, in fact UPSC has once asked this question, what is meteorite? So it is nothing but the meteors which enters into Earth's atmosphere or Earth's orbit. And this series of meteors, when encountered at once, it is termed as meteor shower. This Geminid meteor shower is believed to be the strongest of this year, is active from December 4th till December 28th, and with December 13th and 14th was the best nights for viewing these meteor showers. Next question now. The state animal of Goa and Bihar is, so it is gaur. So here C is the right answer. Why it was in news? Because recently the images of an Indian bishop who was running in panic because of injury and later its demise has again put a spotlight on human-gaur conflict in the country. See, gaur is one of the largest extant bovines. It is one of the largest species among the wild cattle, reaching a shoulder height of up to 220 cm. They are found primarily in forested hills and grassy areas of South to Southeast Asia, and they are found in countries like India, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Nepal. It is categorized into vulnerable list by IUCN Red List. In India, it has been categorized as Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and by CITES it has been categorized into Appendix 1, which means that trade in Indian bisons or gaur is completely prohibited by CITES. Next question now. Consider the following statements about State of Education Report for India 2020. What is it? Let's see. The second edition of the State of Education Report focuses on technical and vocational education and training. So this is correct. So this was the second edition of this report. It was launched virtually by UNESCO, New Delhi. So this is also correct. So here C is the right answer for this question. This report has said that India had made considerable progress towards its goal of creating a skilled workforce of 110 million people by year 2022, The report outlines a set of 10 recommendations that should be adopted to help achieve the stated vision of TVET in the country. What are these 10 recommendations? These are: place learners and their aspirations at the center of vocational education and training programs. It also aims to create an appropriate ecosystem for teachers, trainers, and assessors. It recommends to focus on upskilling, reskilling, and lifelong learning. It recommends to ensure inclusive access to TVET for women, differently abled, and disadvantaged learners. It also recommends to go for massively or expand the digitization of vocational education training and then support the local communities to generate livelihood by engaging in the preservation of tangible and intangible cultural heritages. It recommends then to align better with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development SDG goal for 2030, then to deploy innovative models of financing TVET, expand this evidence-based research for better planning and monitoring, and establish a robust coordinating mechanism for interministerial cooperation. The next question now. Consider the following statements about Meghdut Award. Very simple but very easy but very important question. Meghdut Award. Meghdut Award is given every year from or for excellence in postal services. So this is correct. Remember that the award is given every year, and this award for 2019-2020 was given in 8 categories. This is also correct. So here again C is the right answer. Postal Department conferred this Meghdut Award to postal employees for their achievements in 2019 to 2020. So just remember that this award is given by Postal Department. Also, recently the Department of Post and India Post Payment Banks has unveiled a new digital payment app called as Dak Pay. I repeat, Dak Pay. This Dak Pay UPI app allows users to create UPI ID and link multiple accounts across banks in a single mobile app. The app facilitates instant money transfers, QR-based payments in merchant stores and online shopping on e-commerce websites as well. Next question now. Hybrid Renewable Energy Park, which is the world's biggest renewable energy park, is being set up in. So it is going to be set up in Gujarat. So here C is the right answer. Recently, Prime Minister had laid foundation of this renewable energy park near Indo-Pak border near the Kavra village in Kutch district. It will produce 30 gigawatt of solar and wind energy on a vast expanse of wasteland. This land is not allowed for civilian access. It is under the control of BSF and Indian Army. And if you have found the video useful till now, do like the video and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also, we will upload the second part of this weekly current affairs video. In that, we will cover the rest of the current affairs. So, every week, I will try to upload the video in 2 parts. In these 2 parts, we will cover all the important questions for the entire week, which will be highly important for your examinations. Okay, next question now. Rodam Narsimha, who passed away recently, was he was an aerospace scientist. So here C is the right answer. He was a distinguished scientist and he held various positions at the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru. He was also the director of National Aerospace Laboratories. He was a member of Space Commission, consultative groups of eminent senior scientists in Government of India and the Bureau of International Union of Therapeutic and Applied Mechanics. Next question now. Himgiri, which is built under the Project 17A, is a SIP. Himgiri. Himgiri is the first of the 3 SIPs being built under Project 17A at Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers Limited, based in Kolkata. It was launched on 14th of December 2020. The ship has taken its name and crest of the 2nd frigate of the Leander class of ships, which was launched 50 years ago in 1970. Under this Project 17A program, total 7 ships are to be constructed. 4 are to be constructed at Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited and 3 are to be constructed at GRAC in Kolkata. These will be built with enhanced stealth features, advanced indigenous weapons and sensors fit along with several other improvements. And these P-17A ships are the first gas turbine propulsion. I repeat it once again, this line is very important, that the ships are first gas turbine propulsion and largest combat platforms ever built by GRSE. Next question, again very important. Eswatini, recently news, is a country in, so it is a country in Africa. So here B is the right answer. Eswatini is officially known as Kingdom of Eswatini, sometimes written in English as Eswatini, and formally and still commonly known as Swaziland in English. You must be aware of Swaziland, but you might not be aware of Eswatini because its name officially has been changed to Kingdom of Eswatini. Eswatini is a landlocked country in southern Africa. I repeat, it is a landlocked country and it is bordered by Mozambique to the northeast, South Africa to its north and west and south. So here is Swaziland. See, it is a landlocked country surrounded by Mozambique and South Africa from entirely here. And this population of this country, Swaziland, is composed primarily of ethnic Swazis. Why news? Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently expressed grief over the demise of its Prime Minister Ambrose Mandovilo Dlamini. Next question now. Consider the following statements about SA-21 Growler. What is it? Let's see. It is a mobile surface-to-air missile system designed by the US. This is wrong. Why? Because this SA-21 Growler is nothing but the NATO's name of S-400 missile defense system. So it is widely known that S-400 missile defense system has been developed by Russia and not by US. So in UPSC or in other examinations as well, they will try to trick you by using this name for S-400. It is SA-21 Growler, which is the name used by NATO. So it has not been developed by US but by Russia. The system can engage all types of aerial targets including aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles. So this is also correct. Sorry, this was correct. This was wrong, quite obvious. So here only second option was correct. So A is the right answer. And this missile system has been developed by Russia. It is the most dangerous operationally deployed modern long-range surface-to-air missile system. It is considered to be even more developed and more advanced than US's THAAD, which is Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System. I repeat it once again. They may ask you this, that what is the full form of THAAD? It is Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. The system, this S-400, can engage all type of aerial targets, be it aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, even ballistic and cruise missiles, within a range of 400 km. So if you will deploy S-400 system here, it will cover a range of 400 km surrounding it. Also, it will cover the threats coming even up to 30 km above or at an altitude of 30 km. So 30 km in height and range of 400 km. The system can track 100 airborne targets and can engage 6 of them simultaneously. Why news? Because US has recently imposed sanctions on Turkey on Monday over its acquisition of Russian S-400 air defense systems. Next question now. Consider the following statements about National Hydrology Project. It was started in the year 2016 as a central sector scheme with 100% grant to implementing agencies on pan-India basis. This is correct. This year is important. 2016. The project aims to improve the extent, reliability, accessibility of water resources information. This is also correct. So here C is the right answer. Why news? Because recently the ministry or the Jal Shakti Ministry has went for reviewing this National Hydrology Project, which is a World Bank assisted initiative. Next question now. Who among the following has been elected as the Vice President of Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union? So it is Shashi Shekhar Vempati. Shashi Shekhar Vempati has been chosen as the Vice President of Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union. He was Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati. He has been chosen for 3 years with immediate effect. And the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union was formed in the year 1964. This ABU is a professional association of broadcasting organizations with over 286 members in 57 countries and regions. It is headquartered in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. I repeat it once again that the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union is headquartered in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Now next question is again very important. What is the rank of India in the Human Development Index for 2019? So it is 131st. India has slipped by 2 rank. In the last report, India was ranked at 129th, but this year India has ranked 131st among the 189 countries surveyed. But you will be surprised to know that in absolute terms or in absolute value, India's performance have increased, but in terms of ranking, India's rank has decreased. Why so? Because compared to India, other countries have performed much better. That is the reason why India's rank has slipped despite improving its performance in absolute value. For instance, India has improved its absolute value in Human Development Index from 0.642 in the previous year to now 0.645 in 2019, which is just marginal improvement, and that is the reason why India has not been able to improve its ranking. So its rank has been reduced since other countries have improved much better in terms of absolute value. Let's see the ranks of some other important countries. Russia has ranked 52nd, which is a part of BRICS countries. Sri Lanka, a South Asian countries, have ranked 72nd. Very important to remember. Sri Lanka has ranked 72nd, and compared to 2018, it has improved its ranking by 1. So in the last index, it was ranked 73rd. This year, it has been ranked at 72nd. And Brazil has been ranked at 84th. China has been ranked at 85th. China has also improved its ranking by 2. Brazil, as usual, has remained at 84th. South Africa has also performed better than India. So all the countries in BRICS have performed better than India. South Africa have improved, China have improved. Russia has also performed better, though compared to previous year, its ranking has been decreased by 3, but still its ranking is much better than India. Brazil has also performed better than India. While Bangladesh, though it has performed much faster and much better in absolute value, but its ranking is still behind India, that is 133rd. But it is expected that within few years, or in fact in the next index, you may see that Bangladesh has surpassed India. While Nepal has ranked 142nd, Pakistan has ranked 154th. India 131st has degraded 2 positions compared to previous year, while Bangladesh has improved its ranking by 1. So I repeat the rankings once again. Russia 52nd, Sri Lanka 72nd, Brazil 84th, China 85th, South Africa 114th, India 131st, and Bangladesh just 2 places behind us, 133rd, Nepal 142nd, and Pakistan 154th. In this index, Norway has topped, followed by Ireland and Switzerland, while Hong Kong and Iceland has completed in top 5. However, this index, if we adjusted to assess the planetary pressure, then India's ranking would have gone 8 places up, and rankings of many countries in top 50 may have even come out of 100. So this index have not included these planetary pressures or development which have impacted the natural resources and the environment in the country. Had this measure have been included in this index, India's ranking would have been improved by 8, and rankings of several other countries would have been reduced substantially, even countries which have been ranked in top 10. India, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Cambodia, Kenya, Pakistan were ranked under medium human development with a rank between 120 to 156, and in BRICS grouping, Russia was ranked 52nd, which was the top ranked country in BRICS, while India was the last country in BRICS. India's gross national income per capita on the basis of purchasing power parity fell from $6,829 in 2018 to 6,681 in 2019. Between 1990 to 2019, India has performed much better, and India has improved in absolute value terms from 0.429 to 0.645. Between 1990 to 2019, India's life expectancy at birth has increased by 11.8 years, and mean year of schooling has increased by 3.5 years, which means that more people are now attending schools, and expected year of schooling has increased by 4.5 years. India's gross national income per capita increased by 273.9% between this 1990 to 2019 period. Please note that this STI measures average achievements on three basic aspects of human development, which are life expectancy, education, and per capita income. Now let's see some more points in news. Under centrally sponsored scheme of National Ayush Mission, Ministry of Ayush has approved 200 Ayush Health and Wellness Centers in Uttarakhand. In this regard, Arvind Lal Vandla Lal Foundation based in New Delhi is providing support to the Department of Ayush based in Uttarakhand in operationalization of Ayush Health and Wellness Centers in Almora district of Uttarakhand. And please note that central government has set the target to operationalize 12,500 Ayush Health Centers in phased manner by year 2023-2024 throughout the country. Next one now. Union Cabinet has approved Memorandum of Agreement between India and US for exchange of information in areas of mutual interest in the electricity sector. So I hope you find the video useful. I will upload the next part very soon. Until then, watch the entire video, stay safe, and like the video, do share the video with your friends, subscribe and press the bell icon, and thanks for watching.